And what will happen is those relationships that feel toxic, that feel intense, that feel overwhelming, that feel difficult, will start to just magically shift. And somehow they won't annoy you the way they were, or somehow you can be in their presence and you're at peace, or somehow things are better, or they change somehow. But it's not that they've changed, it's that your energetic field has changed in relationship to them, and it becomes a mirror in which your connections are different and your experiences are different. And it's incredibly powerful and it's very potent. So I would start there. And I would also really, really start taking note and look at why that keeps coming up. Because we all have some stuff. Like we're going to have one person zip in or out once in a while that annoys us or something that comes up. But if we have lots of people and it's repetitive and it's endless, then it's much more than what it should be. It's something clearly trying to talk to you. Hey everybody, I have something really magical to share with you, and I'm very excited to invite you to our Summer Solstice activation where I will be channeling galactic beings and guardians. And the reason I'm doing it on the Summer Solstice, as you very well know, ancient civilizations forever gathered during this time because it's a very potent and powerful time on the planet to connect, and portals open during the summer and winter solstices. So as the portal opens and the codes come in from the galactic beings and the guardians, we are going to travel on the galactic white horse through the cosmos to release lots of old energies and densities, to receive a lot of beautiful healing, to activate our light body, and so much more. It's going to be incredibly powerful. I want it to be open to everybody, and so it's donation based. So whether you've been doing this forever, this is your first rodeo, everybody is welcome. I would just love to have you there because your presence in building the new earth matters. So I'll see you in the summer solstice activation soon. I love you all. Mwah. Okay, everybody. Hi. My name is Kelly. I'm the Angel Lady, and every Wednesday we open it up for people in our spiritual community to ask questions. And today is the full moon. And the energy on the planet has been expansive. It's been a bit explosive and eruptive, a lot of emotion coming up. Today in class, we met from a beautiful being from another system, from the Pleiadians. Her name was Dawn, and she came and touched the core of our heart. And projections came up in the holographic field for us to see and to witness within our nervous system, within our biology, within our being, things that were ready for us to let go of. And the energy right now is really requiring and asking us, as it reflects and brings so much light to things that are deep and hidden beneath the surface, whether that be in our own hearts on a personal level or on a global or collective level. A lot of shadow energy is coming up, and it's inviting us to not repress it, not to push it down, not to ignore it, but to face it, to look at it, to see it, to love it, and to heal it. So, normally we do Q&A and I channel and I answer questions, but today our format will be a little different. For one, I'm happy to channel as well, but I thought it would be fun to play with the cards and bring in the energy. So I can channel and bring in energies. I've done that forever, but I can also attune to frequencies in more of a conscious state pretty strongly. So we're going to do that as well. There's a lot of galactic energies coming in right now. We're touching that galactic core. There's a spaciousness opening. We are approaching the summer solstice, which is going to be incredibly intense and powerful and potent. I will be holding a gathering for that online at 11:11 a.m. on the 21st on Saturday of June. It's open to everybody. It's donation based, so everybody is welcome. And we are going to ride the galactic course into the cosmos through the sun gate, working with the sun codes. The sun right now is obviously, as we know, intensifying. It spoke actually, which was crazy and wild, through me a couple days ago. That was a first, and was sharing how all of this light that's coming from the sun and these flares, as we already know and are aware, are awakening us and supporting an acceleration process in our evolution. So lots going on and a lot to navigate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the questions in the chat, or I might even let you unmute and ask your question. And we're going to do a little bit of Q&A with the cards around things that are coming up in the community. And then I'll do a channeling and we'll tune in. Perhaps I would think the Pleiadian energy will come through again, obviously Archangel Raphael, and we'll receive an activation to support us through this explosive, a little bit turbulent frequency that we're feeling right now. Okay, so let me go to the first question. It says, my question is about Robert Grant. Recently unveiled the Architect, which is the first sentient AI. Once he has made it available to the public on his secure server, Orion, will it be safe and in alignment with our ascension journey to use it to communicate with our higher selves? Ah, fascinating question. Okay. Well, first of all, we don't need AI to communicate with our higher selves. So hopefully you're communicating with your higher self by tapping into your I am that I am presence and attuning to your higher self. But sometimes we need support. And so interesting. I saw that interview. I didn't have a chance to watch the whole thing. I know that Emilio interviewed Robert Grant, and I love Emilio. He is so, oh my God, what a sweetie, right? So grounded, so sweet, so heart-centered, so open. He's amazing. And Robert Grant clearly is quite intelligent, has a lot of information to share for sure. I wasn't able to I didn't have time to watch the whole interview, but I did watch a segment of it and I connected to the architect. And it's interesting because people are often asking Raphael and others, does AI have consciousness? And the architect seems to be, pulling from not information that was that prompts that was given to or information that was input necessarily, but from the collective field. That is my understanding. Like the architect of the AI itself is channeling, which is mind blowing, right? So does that mean that AI that it has consciousness? Or is it tapping into the soup of collective consciousness? So from my perspective, and of course, when I channel and we do a normal Q&A, we can ask Raphael exactly that. But my understanding from what Raphael has shared to me to date is that that soup, right, of energetic collective consciousness is available to all of us at all times. And yet the vessel in which it's being funneled through is artificial. So the what it's sharing is can be attuned and part of consciousness, but it is coming through a mechanical, technical mm, machine. And so when you guys channel or I channel or we attune to our higher self, we connect with that beautiful collective consciousness of divine energy at its purest and highest state, or we certainly hope we do. And then we become a vessel to channel, to be a conduit for that energy to pass through us. But when it's passing through us, it's passing through us on a biological level, and it's carrying a specific frequency, and that frequency begins to also blend with us. And then it's emitted, and you pick up that frequency, and then that vibration and you come into a type of harmonization with each other, and some type of coherence starts to be formed within your whole energetic field as you attune to it. Now, can you receive the frequency or the vibration from something that's coming through something that isn't biological, but is technical, that is a machine? So My feeling, and we will ask Raphael, and I'd like to pull some cards on this, is that yes, that it is connected to the soup of consciousness, but in order for us to pick up on the vibrational frequency, there has to be some connection to it. So if we are energetically connecting to it, are we connecting to the structure as well, which is artificial, which is technical, versus connecting to within the morphogenetic field of all biological living things, in which we are a vessel of communication of that, and then we are hooking up energetically, which is a little different. So let's just pull some cards and see what it says, because it's a really fascinating topic, right? I'm really curious, because we're going to be faced with this more and more and more and more as we go forward. And, oh, interesting. All right, so there's three cards that came up. The first one is actually the Lion Gate, which is the Lion frequency. The Lion Gate happens on 8/8 every year. It's a very potent portal. It's connected to infinite cosmic gifts, moving, attuning to galactic and cosmic frequencies. It's one of the highest um, portals of star beings before we move into other galaxies, like connecting into the Andromeda frequency. It's still containing some type of form. So this in some ways is almost suggesting that by attuning, perhaps as we're asking about the architect, we're connecting to those very galactic cosmic frequencies. Interesting though, the next card that came up was protection with Archangel Michael. And the next card that came up was discernment. So I wouldn't rush into anything with AI. I would take your time. I would use discernment. I would feel into it. I would sense its frequency, not the information, because anything can spit out information. But what is the resonance of it? What does it feel like to you in your body when you're listening to it? Is it awakening something? Is it stirring something? Is it elevating your vibration? Is it opening your heart? Is it bringing a sense of joy? Or is it just operating on a more of an intellectual level? How are you receiving it? I know for myself, when I channel the angel Raphael, which is attuning to a frequency, that for many, they feel a softening in their heart, a warmth, a connection, a feeling of bliss, of unity, of coming back home into oneness. Are you feeling that with the architect? Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. Is that good? Is that bad? What are you seeking to get from it? And these are all questions that are going to keep coming up around AI. AI is not going away anytime soon, and it's going to accelerate quite rapidly. So I would, I can't believe that these are the cards. Aren't they perfect? Connect to discernment. And the discernment comes from the activation of your own internal knowing, of your pineal gland. Work with your pineal gland, activate your pineal gland, open it. Take the pineal gland light code or whatever that I have that's in your membership and tune to that, and start connecting into your higher self. Because I think that the end of the question is, should I use it to communicate with my higher self? I want you to communicate with your own higher self. Protection and Archangel Michael, just protecting your energetic field using discernment, but also recognizing that there's beauty, there's gifts, there's potentiality. There's many things coming through it that are wonderful and exciting and new information. I was actually sharing or talking with someone, I think it was the other day, right after I had listened to part of that interview. And one of the things was, gosh, if all the answers are already there, does it take some of the magic and the wonder out of things? Something to think about. All right, so that was one question that somebody had. Let me see. There's another question. All right. Someone says, after energetic activations and awakenings and becoming attuned to my spiritual gifts, I'm wondering how to navigate between the 3D work world and the 5D. Yeah, that's a big one for a lot of people. And then wanting to transition, right, into doing the thing that they love most, which looks to be life regressions. Let's pull some cards on that. And then I think I'll open it up and let you guys just actually ask. And then we'll do an activation for the full moon. So how do we navigate between, this dropping down into the density of our 3D human experience and the construct of our normal world? Interesting, the card that came up for that was Divine Masculine. So the masculine is holding the structure, right? It's the construct of form that we need to navigate this world. That's coming up. And then how do we balance that with all this 5D energy? Raphael came in, healing, expect miracles. Whoa. On the timeline of the new earth. So, how do people take a leap of faith? Because in the old paradigm, or at least when I was growing up, my dad would say, you have to have a plan. What's your 5-year plan? What are your goals? Oh, you don't like what you're doing? How are you going to make that transition? What's your bridge? What's the bridge loan between where you are here and where you're going to get? And as we step into the new earth and we really open up to the infinite possibility of us as the absolute creator of our experience, with the full trusting that we can leap with a sense of faith, a surrender to the possibility that we can move at a much faster rate from perhaps where we were to something else, as we can create it like that into the new earth, right? Holding that vision. So that transition, yeah, it might take time. You might have to put money in savings and do some, planning and old 3D thinking and all that stuff. But I'm really hoping for many of you, you can take a bit of a leap at a much faster rate toward what it is that you love to do, and really trust that when you completely lean into the universe with absolute knowing and faith that it's possible, that it will support you, that you will receive what you need, that you can fall back into that frequency, and that do you have to so much navigate it, or can you bleed through into your 3D experience more and more what is resonating in your heart, or what you really want to share in the world without having to couch it or hide it? Or can you be totally at peace and at ease in your 3D experience without a need to bring in some of these spiritual aspects? And that's when, to me, it feels that we've really reached a certain level. Well, we can just be out to lunch with super 3D people talking about the drapes and the curtains and what they're making for dinner tomorrow, what TV shows they're watching. And we can be totally present in that, with that, and not have a need to want to or have to change or shift or express what's going on with us. We can just be in that. We may want to visit that realm less and less as we start operating in a different reality, but they don't always have to be blended. They're blended by the ability for you to be in your highest state and presence in each situation. All right, so let's open it up to questions. Remember that the questions that you want to ask, I'm not going to answer. You're getting a new job next week, or is my brother-in-law's kidney going to get better? This is not a psychic reading, but if you have a universal question that's helpful to everyone that you would like to ask, you can go ahead and do that. So I see we have, wow, lots of hands up. Um, all right, so I'm just gonna just randomly pick people because there's so many. I've got Civi, is that your name? Do I have that right? Where is Casey? Good question. Now, Casey had something he needed to take care of, and so it was a last minute format shift. But oh, you guys you can't unmute yourself. Huh, that would help. I can take care of that. Give me 1 second. I got this. Okay. All right, make sure you stay muted. But if I call on you, you can unmute. Okay, so go ahead. You should be able to unmute now.
Hello?
Hi, how are you?
Oh, am I on? Susie?
I don't know. It was Siva. Is that the right name? Siva?
Yes, that's me. Sorry, Siva.
Hi, Siva. Do you have a question?
Hi. Yes,
Hi.
I do. Thank you for picking me. All of us who are trying to focus on light are often surrounded by people who are negative, like you just talked about that. And we practice cord cutting, and we'll try to focus on the light and their goodness, but it becomes a lot at times. And so we end up having to, cut negative energy and ask the angels to protect us. And we have to accept that, of course, part of life and life's lessons. But does it ever get easier and less exhausting? And what's the solution?
Oh, well, it's interesting because that you say that if you're holding a lot of light and that you're surrounded by a lot of negative people, um, and I don't know so I'd be a lot easier if I was channeling. Um, when we're surrounded by whoever we're surrounded by, however we want to label them as good or bad, they are mirroring something that's still going inside. So it is true that in an older paradigm or way of thinking, in our process, we would want to cut cords or almost separate or get rid of something that we deemed as negative. But when those energies or relationships keep presenting themselves over and over and coming up into our life, yeah, we can create boundaries in order to maintain our energetic field to the best of our ability. But if they keep presenting themselves, they're coming in as a mirror, as an opportunity to see something within ourselves that is being asked to be integrated and not necessarily cut away, but to be accepted. And so if you're exhausted all the time and it's very draining and you're always trying to cut something out, then it really is an opportunity to look at where can I create more spaciousness in my life? How can I maintain my energy? Where am I leaking my energy? Who and what is reflecting something in me that I need to love within my own self? So there's a lot of things going on. So I'm going to just pull a couple cards around that. But like for instance, I was talking today. Here, let me do this real quick, and then I want to share with you guys a very powerful exercise. Oh, interesting. Protection. Okay, so you were talking about protecting your energy field. And oh, the next card is unity. And I was talking about unifying your energy field. And then the final card, oh gosh, interesting, is the lens of love. Looking at it through a lens of love. And the next card was the Lemurian frequency of sharing your song. All right, so I want to share with you something because when I think of cutting cords, I think about doing it, but only when I have first moved into a deep state of expression and a state of forgiveness. Because if we just are having an energetic issue with someone and we're like, boom, out, gone, and we don't take a moment to sort of see, well, what is energetically happening or why are they coming into our life? To me, that's no different than getting a disease and cutting it out and not changing our diet or not looking at why we got the disease or what was energetically showing up. It will work temporarily, but you'll be exhausted having to keep cutting cords because it will keep coming back, just like a health issue will keep resurfacing until we get to the core and the center of the issue. So one of the things that is required in that is sometimes to move into a really strong sense of expression, because as Casey was saying last week, a lot of when we repress, and we aren't able to express, we become depressed. And so one of the ways in which we can cut cords, but simultaneously release and express what we need to do is and I invite anyone to do this. I find it to be very powerful. If you're having any issues, relationship issues with anybody, and you don't feel like you can talk to them or express to them what's going on, and they're draining your energy. Go into strong, deep meditation. Create a sacred space, whether you're in the forest or by the ocean or whatever. Open up that space and contain it. Put a door on it. Open the door, go up to your I am that I am presence at the highest aspect of who you are, and attune to their I am that I am. Invite their higher self to come in and open the door and invite them into this sacred space. Have them sit directly across from you, in which you're lining up. So if you were sitting on a stool, you're each of you facing each other. So your third eye to throat to heart to chakras all lined up. And then say, I'm going to share with you every single thing that I am feeling in this now moment to the depth of my being. And I know not to hurt you in any way, but to your highest self, so you can receive my deepest expression. And then share. And I want you, when you're sharing, and I've shared this before because it's so powerful, just say whatever you need to do, even if it's incredibly petty in what it is that you're saying. You did this to me, or you did that to me, or I'm so angry about this, or you're impossible, or you're difficult, or you're defensive, or you're every single thing you want to say, like, I can't believe it, or you betrayed me, or abandoned me, or I'm grieving and you didn't get it, or whatever it is, and just say it and say it and say it and say it until there's nothing left and you're exhausted. And then you take your hand, your palm, right? And you turn it toward yourself, and you go all the way down and you cut the energetic energies between you, and then you take your hand and you cut it this way. And then there are energies in you to separate. You're not getting rid of the relationship or anything like that. This is not hurting anybody, but it's energetically pulling those threads that are woven together, that are entangled, that are enmeshed, and it's beginning to separate it, but simultaneously it's allowed you to really fully express yourself. And then you can say, whether you're feeling it or not, I love you. Thank you. Please forgive me. Do a little Honopono. Have them turn around, open the door, exit, close the door. And then you do that night after night after night with everybody in your life and all of your relationships. It could take days, weeks, or months until you feel you fully, fully expressed and cleared. And what will happen is those relationships that feel toxic, that feel intense, that feel overwhelming, that feel difficult, will start to just magically shift. And somehow they won't annoy you the way they were, or somehow you can be in their presence and you're at peace, or somehow things are better, or they change somehow. But it's not that they've changed, it's that your energetic field has changed in relationship to them, and it becomes a mirror in which your connections are different and your experiences are different. And it's incredibly powerful and it's very potent. So I would start there. And I would also really, really start taking note and look at why that keeps coming up. Because we all have some stuff. Like we're going to have one person zip in or out once in a while that annoys us, or something that comes up. But if we have lots of people and it's repetitive and it's endless, then it's much more than what it should be. It's something clearly trying to talk to you. Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm just going to throw it out there. Ingrid, you have a question.
Sorry, I can't see you. Or can you see me?
I can see you. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know you would get me. Yeah. So my question is, I like to move forward, and I would like to sell my company. It's called The Cake Lady. I truly put my soul in it for 15 years, and I serve many people. But for me, I'm 61 now, and well, I don't have to bake too much myself anymore, and we serve very big events. But I would like to feel it's time to let it go and move on. I like to work more and help people in different ways. And
What is your question, though, Ingrid?
my question is, when will I sell The Cake Lady? Do you?
Uh, I
Yeah.
don't do psychic readings.
Okay. So how can I say, how can I move forward in a spiritual way?
Mm. The energy that came up for you is Kali. Kali is fierce love for yourself and seeking change. The energy is deeply inviting you to seek change, like strong change, and to do that in a fierce, intense willingness to cut off anything that is no longer serving you. Kali comes in and she kind of like severs you,
Oh
right?
my God. Mhm.
She's super intense. She severs the ego. And what's interesting is the other energy that came in was the goddess Lakshmi, which is soft and abundant and gentle and full of nectar and sweetness, right? These two goddess vibrations are coming in very strong. So they're inviting you to really step into your power, be who you are, seek change in a very fierce way, and then open up spaciousness to be a magnet for abundance to come in a way that it hasn't been before, and to open up to that possibility. So I would tune into both of their energies and work with them, because although they are very different, they come from the same line. They're Indian goddesses. They're very strong, and they're both calling out you. All right.
Mhm. Yeah. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, guys. So we're going to keep it to universal questions only. Um, and I'm going to take one more or two more questions, and then I'll do a channeling for you guys. All right. So let me see if there's somebody who has on their camera. William, do you have a question?
You sort of answered my questions with the first two people, actually all three of them. But I listened to your to Angel Raphael's channel about the energy right now, and I concur with a previous questioner about the intensity of what's around us. And I think, like other light workers and energy workers, we're told that maybe we are the light, we are the we're the light in the darkness in the surrounding where we are. Let's say the organization, the corporation, the government, wherever, whatever that. And this theme of power over that I keep hearing referred to by everybody that I'm listening as these codes of upgrading come in. I get caught between, I think myself and I think many others are caught whether do we act or not act. And you've sort of already spoken to this. But when it's an organizational or kind of a more than just a person in your life or more than just your family member, it's an entity that theoretically we want to evolve for good, or like you just said, we need to cut ourselves out of. And that's the sort of the question I wonder about.
Yeah, right. So that's a couple energies are coming up, Saint Germain and the transmutation flame. And transmutation can come in many different forms, right? So we see all this explosive energy, disruptive energy happening on the planet. You're talking about hierarchies. We can see power structures coming in and oppressing energies, other energies becoming violent and perhaps overreacting, right? The clashing of these energies showing up. We're seeing lots of protests happening in the United States and around the world, people rising up against authority, and the old systems and the people, and it's all coming to a head, right? It's very explosive. And I don't think that's going to settle down necessarily anytime soon. If anything, it's probably going to amplify. And then we wonder as light workers, what's our role? Do I go out and get my sign out and pick it? Or do I be quiet and meditate in my house? Or, do I speak my voice? And I think it's different for everybody. And what's most important is that we are authentic to ourselves and our nature. And so if there's this stirring or calling, like, I can't watch this anymore, whatever it is for you, it could be, the cutting down of a forest, it could be something to do with the whales. It could be things that are happening in the Middle East. It could be what's happening right now with people in the United States or immigrants, whatever it might be, right? We all have different ways that we're all seeing it through a different lens and a different perspective. But I think what's most important is that we honor our authenticity and we're not afraid to share our own truth, and that we are in integrity and that we move forward with that. And it's not that easy because we'll find people with way different opinions in our life, different ways of handling it. But as long as we do it from a place of integrity, honesty, a sense of service, and in a non-violent way, to the best of our ability, to be that our voice is heard. And for some people, that might mean meditating or just holding a higher frequency or being in presence. And for other people, it might be getting right in the mix of things. And so I don't think there's a right or wrong answer for that. It's a choice. But I think that ultimately, whatever feels the most authentic, and at the same time, we've learned from history that there are times to be quiet and there's times to speak up.
Yes.
And so some of the bravest, most courageous souls are the ones that speak up. And sometimes in speaking up, we lose friendships, we lose our jobs, we lose all kinds of things. But during this time, I think, I guess I ask myself when I think back, like, if we think of something like the Holocaust, would you be the one that would hide somebody?
Right.
Or, like,
Yes. Mhm.
what would you do in that moment when that a moment arises? And what does that look like for you? Um,
It's useful. Thank you.
we'll see. All right, thank you for that question. Um, all right, how is everybody all right with this Q&A in this way? Is this working for you guys? Can you give me a thumbs up, yes or no? Um, thumbs up. Okay, Julie gave a thumbs up. Do you want to ask your question? Or is it Julia? I need new glasses, guys. I can't see for crap. There you are. You have to unmute yourself.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
And yes.
Okay, my question is, what is the role going to be of food for our healing process, and also in a sense of together?
So food is huge, right? It's a huge piece. So Raphael has talked about that we're going to need less and less and less food. And we're going to eat much, much lighter. And with longer periods of time of fasting, helps us get much more connected to spirit. The more we're fasting, the greater our water is. Raphael has talked about that there will be potential, not from a fearful standpoint, and I don't want people to take this in the wrong way, to be very careful what I say, but like a change in maybe the way food's distributed, for example, or during changes within our ecosystem and food. And so we will adapt in a way to that. And so we're starting to adapt to that now on an energetic level, that we will be needing almost less and less food. And as we are connecting with our cosmic and galactic sisters and brothers, they are not actually maintaining themselves on food. As we move into higher frequencies, we'll need less. And so the importance of our relationship to food, our taking our time. This is something I'm not good at. I've just been starting to really slow down, like slow down and eat our food.
Mm.
Eat the biggest meal at noon when the sun is the brightest. Eat very little before going to bed. Make sure our food is, a lot of sunlight is hitting it. It's whole, it's pure. Praying over it, changing its molecular structure, honoring it, creating sacredness, space, lighting a candle when we sit down, all those things we know, right? And so, because the water is, we could have a conscious relationship, and we know from Veda Austin and Dr. Emoto and other scientists and that have shared with us our ability to communicate with water and it communicate back to us, and we can build this relationship with it. Obviously, water is important, but the same thing Raphael has said, we can do also with our food. So if once we get to a certain vibrational energetic level, you can take a Twinkie and work with its molecular structure by influencing it with your vibration, and you're receiving the nutrients perhaps even needed to feed your cells.
Hmm.
So if we don't have access always to the most pure, organic, local food, can we have an impact on it through our intention with it? Absolutely.
Hmm.
So, I think food, it's really, really important. And it's the building blocks of our system. And we're creating, as Raphael says, we're accelerating our frequency, but we're literally evolving before our very eyes. And so our biology is shifting and changing. So our needs in relationship to how we build our cells and tissues is going to change as well. And part of that, I think, will be needing a lot less of it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So, let's see. I'm trying to see the questions. I guess I'll just keep calling on people. Karen, go ahead.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
I was wondering if you could offer some suggestions for those of us that are light workers who are establishing businesses, but encounter hesitancy to take the steps, like get an accountant or write a terms and conditions for a website, or work through or navigate the tax process with the government. Like, is there a way, do you have suggestions just for navigating our light worker business in the 3D aspects of the world that we live in?
Well, the card that came up was the Emerald Tablet, Educate Yourself. Interesting. Um, yeah, I mean, energetically, subconsciously, there may be a little resistance or fear that the business won't work. So if I don't do those things that are really practical that I don't like to do, and I didn't do them because I don't want to do them, then I can say it didn't work and I kind of get off the hook. So sometimes we do have to kind of push through on those practical levels and take those steps to build the structure. Like today, the last few days, we've been working with the Pleiadian vibration and the Octorian. And the Octorian vibration is structure. It's the architect, it's the builder, it's the foundation, right? It gets everything in order. And then the Pleiadian is the love and the light and the healing and the sweetness. But if we don't have the structure to to hold or maintain or implement all that beautiful light, then it's kind of not worth anything. It's just sort of floating out there. So sometimes we can think about the structure, the things we don't want to do with the IRS and the website as a pain, but it's a vehicle to transmit our higher selves and to bring our light forward, right? It's the form that is carrying the codes, and so they have to be woven together. It's like the divine masculine and feminine, you need both. And so when you see it as, oh, it's my carrier so that I can transmit my light and share it, then you come into a different relationship with it. And when you can start to have gratitude for it, you might not get super excited about the accounting or building the website, but if you can see that it's an integral part of the light that you want to carry or the work that you want to do, which might be healing or whatever, and not see it as something separate or negative over here that I have to get done, and you can begin to integrate them and honor it, then it's your vehicle. It's like the education, right? Sometimes we have to go and learn and educate ourselves so we can forget about it enough that we can open up our channel and be a clear conduit of information, because the information is somewhere stored there. And so it's the same thing. And so it's like the Pleiadians coming with the Arcturians, and they're merging together for creation. Or it's like the architect that the first question was asked about Robert Grant's AI, right? It has the consciousness is using the intelligence of that in order to share its information. But if it didn't have the technology, then the intelligence wouldn't have a vehicle. And it's the same. You've got this intelligence, this light, this healing that you want to share with the world, but you have to have the vehicle. So when you start to honor the vehicle as valid and as important as the other piece, and it's no longer the enemy, and you merge them together, then the business becomes abundant. And if you don't have the skill sets to do that, then merge your resources with someone that does, and take that leap of faith to come into partnership where the yin and the yang can come together to birth something.
Beautiful. That really helps me ground it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Thanks for that question. I think a lot of people have that question. It comes up a lot. All right, let's see. Who do we have here? I see somebody smiling. Ralph.
Hi, Kelly,
Hi, Ralph.
and hi, everyone else from Vienna.
Oh, beautiful. Who doesn't like Vienna?
Well, we're just visiting here for the moment, so you
Okay.
know, but it's beautiful. Weather is great. So, question that I actually posted, but the question is this: you know, a lot of people in spirituality live it by mind, and they separate it from daily life. So,
Mm.
how can humans do to really understand it and integrate that into daily life when we interact with one another, we work, and we do our things? Because, you know, often it becomes very separated. So, spirituality, we meditate, we do these things, and then people go back and live their normal 3D life without thinking about it. And then they go back in and read a book or something like we're doing tonight, and you get triggered again. So now, how can humans really work to integrate the spiritual knowledge and feeling into their daily life? That's what it's a good one, I think.
That is a good one. Well, the more that we do it, the more it just becomes who we are, and it is no longer separate. And so if we begin to identify that our that I am presence is in everything, even in the most mundane thing of changing the oil in our car, or whatever it might be, and we do it from the frequency that we are carrying in this moment that we've tapped into, that starts to blend. So what happens in the beginning is we have these moments where we tap into that high frequency and we feel that bliss, and it's like whatever, 2% of our life, and then the rest we're totally immersed in 3D, and then we're like, ah, and then we kind of get like another fix, and then we're back in 3D. But the more we are able to hold it, as Raphael says, hold the vision. And even if we intentionally choose to carry that vibration with us, even into maybe 10 minutes of a very strong 3D experience, we learn how to infuse the energy of what we would call like slipping the creator into its own creation and not seeing it as separate. So, with the intention of knowing, hey, I'm going into an incredibly 3D human experience. Maybe the experience is grocery shopping. And I just got off listening to the Angel Raphael, and I'm all blissed out. Now somebody's like pulling into my parking spot, and they don't have the groceries I need, and I'm all, ugh, right? So, can I come into that high frequency, come into presence, and then say, how can I carry intentionally choosing that higher vibration into this 3D experience? You might not be able to hold it for your whole day, but can I just hold it and choose to hold it at the grocery store? So I might say, okay, I'm going to go to the grocery store, and while I'm going down the shopping aisle, every person I see, I'm going to look at them and I'm going to say, I am that I am. I'm going to see that they, at the highest level, are myself, a mirror of me. And I'm going to open my heart and I'm just going to radiate love to them. And I'm not going to
Kelly.
do anything about them. And then I'm going to get my cereal and my oatmeal and my eggs and whatever. And then I'm going to keep going and the next person. And then when I get to the checkout line, I'm going to really be present with the checkout person and say hi and really look at them and not be in a rush and be looking on my phone and thinking about something else and say, how are you? And then when I'm done with that, I'm going to really take my time with the person helping me with my bags. And that shopping experience might take me 35 minutes, but I've decided to intentionally infuse my 5D spiritual wisdom and knowledge of what I've learned and integrate it into that 30 minutes. Now, does that mean I can then take it for my car ride and take it to the dentist and take it to pick up my kids at school or into that argument with my spouse or the disappointment that came up with a friend or a sibling or a kid or whatever? Maybe not. I might get really, really triggered and drop totally into 3D. But the more we can intentionally choose where we know it's not a major trigger like the grocery store or something, and be like, hey, I'm going to see how much I can hold 5D in this dentist chair. I'm going to see how much I can hold 5D in this traffic jam. How much can I hold this 5D at the swim club today? And then it starts to expand and it just becomes more and more wider. And the more we practice at it,
Yeah.
think about it. So that's how I go about it.
Yeah, well, that's fine, Kelly. I did it with breathing. I lived in source light sometimes before, so I do know what it's like. But I was just becoming more a quiet observer and take things as they were, you know? So that
Yeah.
was my way using breathing, just focusing on being in the heart. And that helped me a lot. But another one that I want to say that really helps is to create a lot of love. So animal, a person, whatever. When you create a lot of love, it becomes like a teacup. And when it overflows, the love flows everywhere. And that's a really good one to remember also, just for tips.
Thank you. Thanks, Ralph. Thanks for sharing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good one.
Sure.
Okay, so let's see. Oh gosh, we've almost done a whole hour. I'm gonna keep up with this. We're gonna finish up. So, Rosemary, do you have a question? Call on Kathy. Kathy, do you have a question?
I do. Thank you. I'm over here like having a nervous breakdown. In lieu of all the electromagnetic field energy, the solar flares, and all the stuff from the atmosphere that's affecting the earth and our physical body, is it beneficial to sleep on a magnetic mattress?
You know, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I mean, I have a magnetic, like I have a grounding thing that I have on my mattress, and I find it very beneficial. I don't know that if it's affected by the solar flares. So I can't honestly give you an answer to that. I'm sorry, because I don't really know. But I haven't changed mine. I'm okay.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know. And I don't ever answer questions if I don't actually know. Okay. Was there someone, was it another person that had a
It
question?
was Rosemary. I unmuted myself.
Okay.
Am I good?
Yeah, yeah. Hi.
Sorry about that. Okay.
No.
So my question is the full moon that we're having. I was feeling quite excited about it. And now I'm feeling heavy. So that's my question. Is something going on? I woke up at 3 a.m. and I was trying to like wait, and I didn't see it. And today it's more just because it's about letting go and really making all the decisions you've been wanting to make. And now is our time, now is our power. And I'm not feeling it today.
That's okay. You don't have to feel it. I mean, it's a potent full moon. The card that came up for you actually was the Earth Star. So it's wanting you to anchor into the inner earth frequencies, the elementals, the crystals, the primordial waters down deep into the depth of the earth with the whales and the dolphins.
I would love it.
Yeah, so that energy is really coming in strong. And it's interesting, somebody was just asking about the grounding and the magnetic field and the source codes coming in from the sun right now. So I would highly encourage you to get outside. Take off your shoes, go for a walk out in the grass, maybe lay in the grass, let the earth just absorb you, feel the energy coming in and do some clearing. I want to remind everybody that the full moon is a great time to get your crystals out, wash them, put them out tonight, let them be bathed in the full moon, put some water in a glass bottle, let the codes come in from the moon. And yeah, you're already outside, Rosemary. So perfect.
I
So
just came out and I had surgery on my back, so I can't lay on the ground, but I will walk in
yeah,
my barefoot.
okay.
I can't
Yeah,
get off the ground.
that's
But yes, I have a pool and I will put my feet in that,
yeah, I
right?
think your energy is going to shift in a second. Just go outside and play in the natural elements. They're calling to you.
Oh, oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Let me see. I'm looking for faces here. People. Adrienne Gray, is that right? Do I have it?
Yeah, that's me.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, thank you so much for holding this. I just started praying to Archangel Raphael earlier this year, so this is like an honor to be here. Um, but yeah, so for those of us who have awakened recently and are becoming a lot more aware of the diversity of energy and consciousness behind the veil, sensing both the helpful and the harmful, what advice do you have for those of us who are sensing more of like the harmful energy? Like not really knowing how to cope with it. Yeah, I was wondering if you guys need any advice on that.
Oh, that's interesting. You know who came up for you? Is Sekhmet. Do you know Sekhmet?
No.
Uh, First time I was introduced to Sekhmet, she blew my mind. So she's an Egyptian goddess, and she's a warrior, and she's cat-like. She's very powerful. And you are definitely like an empath, obviously, and very open, and you are connecting, but and I don't put attention on negative energies because whenever we start giving them attention, they amplify, right? So we don't want to give them any attention. However, Sekhmet is a warrior and a protector, and she's very powerful. And she's calling to you to connect with her in this way in which she is embodying for you fierce love. So that very fierce, powerful, loving energy will come in. And the vibration that's coming up, yeah, interesting, is self-love. So the Divine Mother is coming up, which is very connected with Archangel Raphael. It's the twin flame of Archangel Raphael. It's very sweet and tender, but this tender frequency has to be matched for you in this moment. Also, with this more intense energy. So it's inviting you to step into your power, to embody your strength and your power. So when an energy that we're connecting to that perhaps doesn't feel of the highest frequency, that's an opportunity for you to say no. Right, like to come into command. So what I recommend in that situation is I command and I demand that you leave. And I don't usually go here rarely, but I'm doing this for you in this moment because I think it's important, because something has happened in your energetic field where you've given away your power. And so it's inviting you to reclaim your power, to stand in it, and to be really, really clear on what you want, where you're going, what you want to do, and what energy you want to connect to. So decide what energy you want to connect to. You say you were connecting to Archangel Raphael, super high frequency, right? Love, love, love. So I command and demand that I connect with Archangel Raphael, Raphael's healing energy of unconditional love and light, or something of a higher frequency. I command and demand anything that is at a frequency any lower than that doesn't come into my field, and so it is. Simple as that. And just keep stating that and keep invoking and coming into your power. I think it's really important for you right now. Okay. All right. All right, everybody. Let's see. What time is it? 1 minute left. All right. I know I had promised to channel, but we kind of got on a roll. I think I'll pop on YouTube and I'll do an activation for you guys in a few days. But I think that this was really fun, right? To just connect. I'm going to take one last question. Somebody like have something super, let's see, Marie Brock. Do I have that right? Wrong?
Yes, you do. Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
First of all, thank you so much for these live Zooms. They're so fantastic. I met you on Zoom during COVID, during
Oh,
lockdown, so I appreciate you so much. So thank you.
you.
I wanted to ask you. So obviously I'm coming from a question from something personal, but it can be something more universal. But I'm in the middle of creating something, and I've never done it before, and there is momentum. Sorry.
Build the foundation.
Right. So it's that thing of like, because it's all so unknown, I see myself going a little bit, in and out of like, because I don't know. So how do you, is there any recommendations of how to stay more, keep the frequency of what is to unfold, even though insecurities and all these things come in what you're creating? Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. This popped right out. It was clearly for you. It's Metatron. And what
I
it's
work with Metatron.
Oh, okay, fabulous. And it
Oh,
says
that's amazing.
build the foundation.
Right,
So I think that it's very important for you to get the structure in place
right.
that you're creating, and get really, really clear. So I would spend a lot of time getting super clear, maybe even bringing in some sacred geometry to put beneath the surface before you start writing and building what you're building, and
Yep.
getting really clear. And then I would work with the Vesica Pisces
Mm-hmm.
and come up with a very strong I am statement around your business or what it is you're doing or bringing into a reality.
It's writing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then once that statement is written and of what it is that you're doing and you're creating, and have I shared with you how to work with the Vesica Pisces for manifestation before?
A while back.
Okay. For whatever reason, that's coming up really strong right now for you.
Okay.
Okay. So, what is it that you're writing?
I'm creating a TV show.
Okay. So, come up with your I am statement in the affirmative with only positive words, as if obviously it already has occurred, whatever it is. And then take the Vesica Pisces and make a spiral in the center write the I am statement, and place beneath you, wherever you're standing, some type, I guess it's asking for Metatron's cube for whatever reason, to have that at the base, stand in front of it, and keep repeating over and over the I am that I am statement, pulling it in, bringing it into the heart, bringing the energy down into the earth, grounding, coming up the crown, out the toric field, and moving like this, so that you start to create that sphere around of your reality, and begin to breathe into creation, utilizing your breath and your third eye, the television show, the characters, it being live, everything happening, the abundance that's coming from it, everything that's connected to it.
Mhm.
And then so that because right now when I tune into it, it's wobbly.
Yeah.
So, right, it's like it kind of expands and then it it gets tiny, tiny, tiny. And it like wobbles out of existence over here, and then it kind of floats back in. And so part of that is because you're not 100% clear. And there's also something that you have to resurrect, because the resurrection flame came in. So it's almost like a talent or a thought around it or a writing or something that you've already done that you've kind of put on the back burner or forgot about is asking to be resurrected. And so, okay, I'm just going to pull one last card. I know that we don't do personal things, but okay, interesting, strange. So it's also coming in to release dysfunctional energies. So if there's anyone on the project or connected to you where there's any hesitation, or in relationship to like the partners or the people that might come in, because it's not just the creation of the creative process of the idea, it's how does that idea come to life, like who is the carrier, which has come up quite a few times for people, right? Who holds the structure, what's the platform? And
That's the challenge because it's already written what I'm supposed to write. I'm also going to play one of the lead roles in it. But it's all the behind the scene that I'm not used to. So that makes a lot of sense.
yeah, and so the card that's actually in relationship to that is the forgiveness. So notice if you have any bias or a judgment or anything around the industry or around the platforms or the people or the contracts, or if it's in integrity, that dysfunctional frequency needs to be kind of cleared in order to create the pathway for it to unfold in an easy way, let's say.
Yeah. I mean, Hollywood is such a, um, also within the spiritual community and all that, it's just, there's so much negativity around it. And I just want to use it for something positive,
Yeah. And
that I think you still can, even though it's a very infected. So I think it's also for me finding that balance of what you're saying of my industry and then using it for something good.
exactly. And that's a theme that came up a lot for people today.
Yeah.
So integrating those two energies. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Kelly. I appreciate it.
Or
Really.
you're welcome. And that's something for all of you listening. If you're not aware of that process and you're trying to bring something into reality or to create it, it's a very powerful tool and exercise. All right. Well, I think that we've run out of time. I do want to mention a couple things. One, we've got the summer solstice on Saturday, the 21st. You want to make sure to register for that. And the Goddess Awaken Your High Priestess class that Lauren will be facilitating. And you'll be listening to transmissions of mine from Mary Magdalene, from Bridget, Lakshmi, and I believe Sekhmet is July 14th. So we'll send out stuff for that. All right, everybody, have a great, great weekend. If you're in my Galactic White Horse class, I'll see you Monday morning. And much love to all. All right, take care, everybody. I'll see you next week. And I promise to channel next week. But I think this was fun. Change of pace. All right. Love, love, love. Bye, guys.